Hello everyone, I am Dr. Srinivasa DJ. I am working in the Department of Agriculture Engineering, Banaras Hindu University. We have introduced a course in the Swayam platform. The course title is Introduction to Farm Machinery and Implements. It is for 4 weeks programming, and the first lecture's title is Status and Sources of Farm Power in India. Let us move into the actual course. Before we talk about farm power availability and its sources, let us discuss something about the geographical area the India has and landholding pattern the farmers are holding. Moving ahead, the India is a vast country. It covers about 328.72 million hectares of geographical area. Out of this 328.72 million hectares, only 166 million hectares of area is suitable for cultivation, where we can practice an agriculture, and we could use only 142 million hectares so far. It means another 24 million hectares of land still there, which is in which we can grow crops. If we talk about gross cropped area, we have around 190 million hectares of gross cropped area in India. It means out of the net cultivated area, we grow a couple of crop. I mean, twice a crop in certain land, certain areas. That's how the net cultivated area is 142, but we have a gross cropped area in India about 190 million hectares. Let us move to the landholding patterns. So landholding patterns are classified in various classes. Generally, it will be like marginal landholding, small landholding, semi-medium, medium, and large. So that all on the basis of the minimum area the farmers are having. Under the marginal landholding, those farmers who are holding the land less than 1 hectare will be called as marginal farmers. Those farmers holding land between 1 to 2 hectares are referred as a small landholding farmers. Semi-medium or semi-medium farmers and medium farmers will have land holding 2 to 4 hectares, 4 to 10 hectares respectively. And those farmers who have land holding more than 10 hectares, we call them as a large farmers. More than 70% of the farmers in India belong to marginal and small category. That means average land holding of Indian farmers is less than 2 hectares. And most of this land area comes under rain-fed cropping system. So we are going to talk about farm power and sources of farm power in India. So we must know what are all the machines and potential of machines in agriculture, Indian agriculture. India has a very promising farm machinery industry where we annually produce 9 lakhs of tractors, 35,000 power tillers are annually being produced. There are more than 12 lakhs of sprayers and dusters annually sold for the farming community. More than 50 lakh pump sets are there to use it for pumping water, lifting water either from the open wells or from the tube wells. So there are 3,000 to 3,500 combine harvesters are sold annually, which are used to harvest the crop, particularly for rice and wheat cropping system in the rice and wheat cropping system. Besides this, there are small other equipments also. They may be a weeders, they may be some other small sized specialized equipments which are also used in the field of agriculture. So for all these machines, we do require a power. The power is the basic requirement in the agriculture. So farming operations need some of the some type of power unit at the farm in order to operate machineries. Unless the power, we can't operate the machines which will use for mechanized agriculture. So some of the stages at which we use the machineries, where that machineries require a power of seedbed preparation, sowing, water pumping for irrigations, spraying of chemicals and foliage applications of nutrients, intercultural operations where we do remove the weeds. Thereafter, we do use the machines for harvesting. We use machines for threshings. So once that crop is threshed, we take those crops for post-harvest operations where we process them into value-added products. And over them, all of them, we do require a power or energy to hurling the work. I mean, to transportation purpose, to move the trolleys, to pull the trolleys and all. Like that, these are all the various sectors or stages at which we do require energy or a power in farming operations. So these operations demand a tractive power, the tractive power to pull the implements, the rotary power to drive the attached implement, a pulley power in order to operate stationary machines, and automotive power for transportation work. So there are various ways in which machines require a power. If you want to pull an implement, like if you want to perform a plowing operation, you have to pull a plow. So for that, all you need is a pulling power. That also met out either various sources of energies are there, or any one of them you can use to meet out this energy. You need to have a rotating power in order to give a drive to attached equipment. Attached equipment, it may be winnower, it may be thresher, it may be a other machine where it requires a rotary motion to operate. You need to have a pulley power to operate stationary machines. Stationary machines here generally water pumping systems or other agro-processing industry equipments, material handling equipments and all. Automotive power is required for propelling the machine. I mean, like, tractor, you want to trolleys, bullock cart and all. So in all the aspects for transportation work, you need to have a automotive power. So this is how there is a demand for the power, and that's why we should aware about various types of farm powers available in India and their status. Okay, so far what we discussed is all about the introduction to the need of farm power. The sources of farm power in India are at global level. We can classify them directly as a human power, draught animals, tractors, power tillers, self-propelled machines, electric motors, like that, even renewable energies. That is the one basic way of classifying the powers. Other than that, if you want to classify the sources of power on the basis of mobility, so they may be mobile power, it may be a stationary power. In case of mobile power, if you want to classify, you can put all those sources of power where you can move them from one place to other. Like human power, it includes men, women, children. They may be moved from place to place to perform the any task they may assign with. Draught animals, they can also move, like bullocks, buffaloes, camels, mules and donkeys. We call them and categorize them as a draught animals because we use them as a source of power in agriculture operations. So tractors, power tillers and self-propelled machines, they all comes under the broad category of power source that we called as a mechanical power. Mechanical power again may be classified as stationary and mobile power. In the mobile power, tractors, power tillers and self-propelled machines will come. Under the self-propelled machines, which we use in the field of agriculture for crop production process, they may be combine harvester, they may be transplanters, they may be reapers and binders, they may be sprayers and dusters or any other equipments. So the other classification of power sources on the basis of their mobility is the stationary power. So under the stationary power, generally either diesel engines or electric motors are employed. They may, they still stay in a single point. From there, whatever the power they generate, either the diesel engine or an electric motor, may be used for several applications, like to operate the pump sets in order to lift the water, to operate the flour mill for size reduction operations. You can operate the threshers. Stationary threshers we call them whenever they're fixed at one point, but crop thresher will not go to the field, but crop from the field comes to the thresher. For such kind of threshers, the machines also be, power source will also be a stationary one. And there are some sprayers, they use the stationary power, but the sprayer is moving, but power which is providing to this sprayer will be stationary. So like that, electric motors are also used in the place of diesel engine. There also you can use that energy obtained from the electric motor for pump sets, for threshers, for stationary operations. And other than that, there are some other sources of energy which we called as a renewable energy or green energy. Basic types of renewable energy where we use them in the field of agriculture are biogas, energy from biogas technology, solar energy harnessed from solar radiation and converted into convenient form, whether to a thermal form or into the direct electricity. And the wind energy, where we use turbines, windmills or wind turbine, they convert the kinetic energy present in wind into a mechanical energy. So that mechanical energy straight away may be used to operate the machines like water lifting pumps or flour mills and all, where they're stationary in terms of their mobility, or you can also generate an electricity with the help of wind turbine. So this is how the sources of farm power either in India or at global level may be classified as. Okay, so let us discuss one by one about all the sources of farm power. When it comes to the human power, so human power is very important source of energy or a power for operating various small tools which are handheld tools and implements. If I give an example for the small tools and implements which are operated by human power or man-held operations, they may be spade, kurpa, oxa. So they all do require human power. So there are some chaff cutters, manually operated chaff cutters. So there also human power is employed. Water lifting devices are there. So water lifting devices will require a human power either to push them or to rotate them. Like that kind of effort they do require in order to lift the water. Threshers are also there, wall part threshers and all many other threshers where a human needs to rotate the threshing drum, and that's how it will detach the crop which come in contact with that rotating drums. So winnowers are also there, man-held, man-operated, hand-driven winnowers in order to remove the fine dust from the crops. Comes to the total power a man can exert or produce. A strong man, an adult man can develop a maximum power of about 75 watt, that is equivalent to 0.1 HP for doing farm work. In a sense, the 10 adult man can do a work which is equivalent to 1 HP of a power. The average human power available in sustained working or for the male it is 60 watt, for the female it is 48 watts, for the children it is 30 watts. So here the children, the category children refers to those who are aged above 14 and below 18. So above 14 and below 18s are referred here as a children. Whenever they involved in agriculture operation, they could able to generate or produce a power equivalent to 30 watts. For the female, it is for 48 and for male, it is 60 watts. So these data are for sustained working. If you want to perform a work for a period of a minimum of 2 hours, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, in such cases, individuals will develop this, and this quantity of energy. At maximum, they can able to produce 75 watt. Okay, so the next topic is drought animals. So drought animals are the animals which are used for agricultural operations, for plowing or for operating seed drills to sow the seeds, or to operate the water lifting devices for lifting water out of the open wells, to operate the crushers or gunnies where you can extract the juice out of sugarcane. For all these kinds of, and also to pull a cart, bullock cart and all. So for all these kinds of operations, animals are being used since long, since ancient days. So animals were the main source of energy, particularly for agriculture operations. So when it comes to the power available in individual animals, so that all the power availability in drought animals is related to their body weight. So body weight plays a vital role for drought animals. For the bullocks, the 10% of the body weight will be the individual bullock's power output. For example, if any bullock weighing 500 kg, it could able to pull 50 kg of weight easily, with ease and with comfort. So that's how we assess the power output from the drought animals. For the buffalo, they can exert 12% of the their body weight as a power. Camels can exert 18% of their body weight as a power. Donkeys could produce 32% of their body weight as a power. So this is how we can assess the energy output from the drought animals. So here, as you can see, donkeys are having more power output with respect to their body weight. So somewhere you can correlate this with the kind of work they perform. So donkeys are, poor animals, we can say. So they perform the more work with respect to their body weight, whereas the other animals are not. So that's why that might be the reason why the donkeys are used to carry more weight, particularly in hilly areas and all, where other animals could not. It is said that a draught pair of animal can produce 1 HP of a power output, that is equivalent to 0.75 kilowatt. 1 HP of power they could easily produce. On the basis of body weight, the draught animal may be classified as small, medium, large, and heavy. So we have nothing to do with that body weight. But body weight is important as far as the energy output of individual animals is concerned, that to draught animals. So the next is the mechanical power. The mechanical power means the power coming out of the machine, and it may be used for various operations. And there are many farm machines used in the field of agriculture. The most commonly used and popular one is the tractors, followed by the power tiller. And there are stationary IC engines also. IC engine here indicates internal combustion engine, under which it may be a diesel engine, it may be a petrol engine. So there used to be a kerosene engine too. Nowadays they have vanished. They reached to a obsolete. So the last type of mechanical power is a self-propelled machines. Self-propelled machine, as you already know, as I already told you in the beginning, self-propelled machines are those machines where they do not rely on some other power sources. In the sense, they themselves have a power source. They are equipped with the power sources. So tractors, power tillers, stationary IC engines, and self-propelled machines are the power sources of power comes under mechanical power. The next category is the electrical power. Electrical power is the most commonly used form of energy source in Indian agriculture. It is obtained from electrical motors. So motor is a device which converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy. So though it produces output of this motor will be a mechanical energy, but the source it uses is electrical energy. Therefore, we put it under electrical power. Electrical power is used for water lifting, for dairy industry. Water lifting, we use water lifting motors and pumps for lifting water. So though they use electricity. In dairy industry, we use electricity as a source of energy for milking from the cows and buffaloes, for refrigeration, for sterilizing, for churning operations. So all the machineries which we use in the field of dairy sector, dairy industry, they generally use electricity as a source of energy. So cold storage is another type of the sector where, so there also electricity is used to operate ACs and refrigerators. So there are some processing units. There are many processing units where electricity is the major source for them to perform the processing operations. Processing operation, if I take an example, we can paddy and wheat are the crops where we take the paddy into the milling unit where we de-husking them. Then the de-husked rice will taken into the sorting and grading unit where the sorting will be done, and thereafter that sorted whole grain will be taken into the packaging unit where packaging will be done. So they're all in all the stages there will be a machines. So machines are employed, and these machines use electricity as a source of energy. Therefore, the electrical power is also very vital source of energy, that too in today's scenario. So renewable energies is a completely different type of energy than what we discussed so far. So renewable energy, as its name indicates, it renewable in nature. It is not going to be exhausted, and that's how. And it has no negative impact on environment, and therefore we call it as a renewable energy. So it is the energy mainly obtained from biomass, from the sun, and from the wind. So there are other ways of generating renewable energy as well, but those are not common in agriculture field. I mean, those energies are not used in the agriculture sector. But energy obtained from biomass, energy obtained from sun radiations, energy obtained from winds are quite have an evidence where we use them in the field of agriculture, at least for agro-processing industries and others. So bioenergy and wind energy, solar energies are used in agriculture and domestic purposes with suitable devices, because they are not readily available form. They are not in the readily available form. We need to convert them into convenient form. So solar radiation is the energy present in solar radiation that will be converted into convenient form, either in the form of thermal energy or in the form of electrical energy. So for all that, you need to have a suitable device which convert them into convenient form. So the energy, whatever the energy which we produce from the renewable energy, either from biomass like biogas, producer gas, biochar, ethanol, bioethanol, biomethanol. So these are all the type of fuels which are derived from the biomass through various technologies and or conversion methods. So they may be used for cooking purpose at farm level, at domestic level, or this may be used to lightening the lamp at farm level, farmhouses and all, even at domestic level at home. We can use for water heating with the help of solar energy. We can have a water heater which convert the energy present in solar radiation into thermal energy and transfer it into the water. That's how we can produce hot water with the help of solar energy. Solar distillations is possible with the solar radiation. We can have a energy generated from solar energy or wind energy into food processing sector. We can lift the water with the help of energy generated by solar and wind, either in the form of mechanical energy or in the form of electrical energy. We can run the diesel engines with the help of a fuel derived from biomass like methanol, ethanol, bioethanol, biodiesel. And there are several applications where we use this renewable energy as a source of energy in agriculture in one or other way. Okay, so what we discussed so far is just introduction about the energy, sources of energies. So now let us differentiate or let us discuss about merits and demerits of different farm power sources. Each types of farm power sources have their own merits and demerits. If you take human power as an example, human power has certain merits and it also has certain demerits. What are all those merits? The merits are human powers are easily available. In today's scenario, it is a contrast. We could not find, it is very difficult to find a human power, but still many people list it as a merit because we can find them, but taking work from them is difficult. So use it for all types of work. Human power, you can use a human can do all kind of work. You may perform plowing, not by using plow, but with the help of a spade and other handheld tools. He performs sowing. He performs harvesting, weeding, threshing, spraying, all other associated activities of agriculture he may perform. So that is the merit comes under human power. What are all the demerits associated with human power? It is the costliest power. As I told you, we can find the labor, but we can't afford them. So that is the biggest issues with today's agriculture. So human power is a costliest power and very low capacity. With the help of human, if farm labor, if we completely rely or depends upon farm laborers, so your work will be delayed because their work capacity is low. It requires full maintenance when not in use. If you keep farm workers in annual basis, so there will be a work at season, and when season is gone, you need to feed him and keep him, and that's how it increases a maintenance cost. So it requires a full maintenance when not in use. It is affected by weather condition and season, of course. So human can't work in bright sunny days. The human labor, he can't work in rainy days. And that is true for winter season as well. You can't work early in the morning where the temperature is too low. So that's why human power has more demerits than the merits. Okay, so the next is the animal power. As I already told you, animal power is nothing but a drought animals which are used. So if you call it as animal power, then somewhere even humans also comes under this category. So better to call it as a drought animals. So drought animal power. So drought animal power has merits and demerits. Merits are they are easily available. Again, here also nowadays it is quite difficult to say that they are easily available because drought animals are largely replaced with milching animals. So because of mechanization, drought animals are not being, they are not more in their populations. Instead, the population is being replaced by the cows and buffaloes, where we rear them for the milks. So they use it for all types of work, just like human being. For animals, with the help of animals, we can plow the land, we can sow the seed with the help of suitable devices. You can weed the crop with the help of, again, suitable devices or an equipment or an implement. We can harvest the crop, you can thresh the crop, you can lift the water with the help of water lifting devices which are driven by the animal power. So like that, animal power can be used for all kind of works. Their low initial investment, animals do not require much investment, as the case it is there in the tractors and power tillers. Supplies manure to the field and that manure will be used as a fuel. So because if you keep animals with you, so they will sustain their life by using farm product as their feed. And at the same time, their dung which they give us, they may be used as a soil amendment, or you can use them as a fuel by digesting them in anaerobic condition. That's what biogas technology we call it. Or you can make them a cow dung cake. So those cow dung cake may be used as a source of fuel. That's what more common in North India, as I see. So there are some demerits also associated with animal power, drought animal power. They are not very efficient. Of course. The seasons and weathers are affect their efficiency. So just like human being, they cannot work during rainy days. They cannot work efficiently during bright sunny days, and they do their capacity do reduce during the winters, early in the morning or in the evening. And that's how they're seasonally affected. Their efficiency is seasonally affected. So they cannot work at a stretch. So cannot work at a stretch in the sense we cannot expect the work out of those from the animals throughout the day. So generally they may work 3 to 4 hours in a stretch in the morning, and another 1 or 2 hours in the evening. So we cannot use those we cannot plow the land from morning to evening with the help of a pair of animals. They do get tired. So therefore we cannot work at a stretch with the help of animals. It requires full maintenance when not in use. When plowing is done, sowing is done, till next harvest, next season or next operations to come, we need to feed them and keep them well, so that we can use it for as the work comes. So that all leads to increased cost of maintenance. They create unhealthy and dirty atmosphere. So many people are not used to the the conditions where it creates, with the conditions where it is there around the cow sheds, farm livestock sheds and farms. So obviously the dung and their urine, they all will create some bad odors, so that many people don't like it. So very slow in doing work. Their work capacity is also low, and therefore we cannot complete more area per unit time because of their low working capacity. So that's how these factors comes under demerits of drought animals, and the earlier points which we discussed are the merits of drought animals. Okay, the next type of power is a mechanical power and electrical power. So more or less they have a same kind of merits and demerits, and there are some few points which makes them different each other. So under the merits, the mechanical power is efficiency is high. If you use a tractor for plowing, so you can plow the land with shorter time. That's how it has a more capacity, and with the capacity they have efficiency as well. So there will be less space left, less area or less space left unplowed if you use a tractor, because with the small short time you complete the task with more efficiency. So not affected by weather. So tractors, if you take an example, or a combine harvester, they come with protections for the operator as a roof, and that provide a shelter to him against the bright sunshine or rainy season, and that's how he can work 8 hours in a day in a continuous manner. So it makes more work to be done in short time. And under the demerits, The mechanical power demerits are like initial high investment, so you need to invest more. So tractor with a power rating of about 45 HP, you need to pay at least of 10 lakhs for the engine itself. So that's how it is more investment intensive. Fuel is costly, as we all aware. The fuel cost is keep increasing year after year. That somewhere make it operation costlier. Repair and maintenance needs technical knowledge. Yes, of course. Anything goes wrong in the engine or in the equipment attached to it, ordinary man cannot find it out, rectify the problems. It requires a person who is having a special knowledge on that, engines or in that particular topics, and that's how it has three demerits. So the next one is the electrical power. Electrical power, which is it is referred as a cheapest source of power in India, not just in India, anywhere you go. So it is the cheapest source in compared to other sources of farm power. Efficiency is high, similar to the diesel, mechanical power. So electrical power is also offer work with high efficiency. It can also work in a stretch, so you can operate at night, you can operate at day, night, during monsoon, sunny days, winter, no matter. It can work 24/7 as well if you provide such an environment around a motor where it keeps cools, so that it won't get overheated. So maintenance and operating cost is very low. As you all know, the cost of unit electricity is always low than the cost of unit petrol and diesel, and that's how the operating cost and its maintenance is low. No need to put oil, where the tractors, power tillers, combine harvester, all other mechanical devices, you need to take care about lubrication oil and all in addition to the petrol or a diesel. Whereas here, so only expenditure, it comes as a recurring one, or a operational cost will be the electricity that it consumes until the other associated part like bearings and all gone wrong. So it is not affected by the season, as I already told you. It works day night. It works bright sunny days, rainies, and all the season. But it must have protection against the water. So electrical power is also have certain demerits. The demerits comes under electrical power is all initial capital investment. Of course, the electric motor price, motors comes with high price. So you need to invest more. You need to have a investing capacity to buy it. It requires good amount of technical knowledge, since a layman cannot rectify if it goes wrong. It needs a electrical knowledge, electronics and electrical knowledge. Electrical engineers can manage it whenever it goes wrong. So such kind of techniques must have. Then only if it goes wrong, or is there any problem which you notice, so you can rectify it. Otherwise you can't, unless you have a technical knowledge. So next is the handling of these electric motors are sometimes danger, because if you are not handling it with care, it may lead to a fatal accidents. So the very dangerous and great losses may happen if not handled properly. So that's how you can list the merits and demerits for various types of farm power which are being used in India on large scale. Okay, so the next topic is status of farm power in India. So what we learned so far is the sources of farm power, their merits and demerits, and the various applications of them in the field of crop production. So status of farm power. So farm power is a very important input in agriculture. It helps in timely field operations, timely crop harvesting, threshing, and taking them into the processing unit, where it will be converted into various value-added products. So some of the equipments and operations which require a farm power, so I already told you all of them. Let me list. I will tell you once again. So plowing and harrowing operations require a farm power. It may be provided through animal power or through mechanical power. with the help of a tractors, a power tiller and all. We do require a power for seed drills and transplanter in order to sow the seeds or to sow the seedlings which are raised in the nurseries. We need power to weed the crops through weeders, to spray the chemicals over the plant through sprayers and dusters. We do need power for irrigation equipment in order to lift the water out of a tube well or out of the open wells. So harvesters and diggers also need power to harvest the crop or to harvest the tuber crops which are under the ground with the help of diggers. Threshers and shellers also require power to remove the crops out of the panicles and cobs. Cleaners and graders, which are after post-harvest operations where we clean the grains so that grains are free from all kind of foreign matters. And we also grade the agriculture produce into various sizes and shapes and color in order to fetch more value in the market. So there also energy is required. So energy may be mechanical, electrical, even human. So that kind of energy it may require there. So post-harvest equipments where conversion of one product in one produce into various other products, packaging them, labeling them, handling them, in all these stages, farm power is essentially required. Okay, so have a look at this table. So this table tell you the farm power availability in Indian farm since 1971-72 to 2012 and 13. So this table highlights you the of availability of farm power which was there and was recorded in 5 years according to the 5 years plan. So farm power, I already told you, sources of farm powers are for agriculture workers or human power, drought animals, and the mechanical power. Under the mechanical power, it may be tractors, it may be power tillers, it may be diesel engines, stationary diesel engines, or it may be a stationary electrical power. So farm power availability or farm power is always expressed in terms of energy present per unit area. So the unit that we use is kilowatt per hectare. So what amount of energy which is present in Indian farm, average Indian farm, so that what we called as a total farm power. So total farm power is always expressed in terms of kilowatt per hectare. So during 1971 and 72, the farm power was total farm power available at Indian agriculture was 0.293 kilowatt per hectare. So 0.293 kilowatt per hectare was the total farm power available, out of which 0.45 kilowatt was used to come from agriculture labors. 0.133 kilowatt was from drought animals. From the tractors, the tractors contributed to the total farm power during 1971 and 72 was 0.02 kilowatt. Power tiller was 0.001 kilowatt per hectare. Diesel engines contributed 0.053 kilowatt per hectare, and electrical power was 0.041. That's how that all combined together, the total farm power available during 1971-72 was 0.293. So as the time lapsed, as we move towards green revolution, higher productions and more productivity, the farm power available in India is also increased. As you can see in this picture, by the time 2012 and 13, the total farm power available was reached to 1.841 kilowatt per hectare. 1.84 kilowatt per hectare. So there is a drastic change between the 1971-72 to the 2012 and 13. So there are changes in contributions of farm power sources also. Drought animals was the major sources of farm power during 1971 and 72, which it is contributing about 0.133 kilowatt per hectare out of 0.293 kilowatt per hectare. So it means around 1/3 of the energy or a farm power used to come from drought animals during 1971 and 72. So by the time 2012 and 13, the drought animals power was decreased to 0.094 kilowatt per hectare, and at the same time tractors power and electrical power took over the lead. The lead was taken by the tractor. It is contributed to 0.84 kilowatt per hectare, followed by the electric motor, which is about 0.5 kilowatt per hectare. So that's how it clearly indicates there is a lot of mechanization happened between 1971-72 to 2012 and 13. So similarly, the trend also changed. Tractors power keep increasing from 0.02 kilowatt per hectare during 71-72 to 0.844 kilowatt per hectare in 12-13. Similarly, draught animals power decreased from 0.133 kilowatt per hectare during 71-72 to 0.094 kilowatt per hectare in 2012 and 13. So electrical power also increased similar to the tractors power. Diesel power is also increased similar to the tractors power. So that all give an clue that there was a drastic shift from a conventional agricultural practice to the modern agriculture practice, where the more number of tractors were employed. There were more number of power tillers were employed in the field of the agriculture. There were more combine harvester introduced. There were more electric motors for lifting the water, which replaced the traditional handheld, manual, animal drawn water lifting devices, and that's how the total farm power increased. So here, what I would like to highlight is the total farm power is an indicator. So total farm power availability is an indicator, irrespective of any country you can take. So that will indicate what is the total agriculture production that country is producing. If there is more total farm power available, there will be a correlation that the grain production is also being increased. So in this slide you can see during 2011 and 12 the total farm power was 12 and the total farm power was around 1.84 kilowatt per hectare, but during 2013-14 it reached to 2.02 kilowatt per hectare. The same is increased to 2.49. You can say it as a 2.5 kilowatt by the time 2018 and 19. By 2018 and 19, the farm power available in India rose to 2.5 kilowatt per hectare. So now the ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India, they are projecting the requirement of farm power in Indian agriculture by 2030 as 4 kilowatt per hectare. So this is the target set by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare in coordination with the ICAR to increase the farm power level, farm power availability to 4 kilowatt per hectare by 2030. So that is very much essential if you want to meet the food demand with the growing populations. To meet out the food demand for the growing populations, you need to have a more farm power availability. So more farm power availability, it simply reflects that if there are more farm power available, you can perform the agriculture with ease. With ease in the sense with very less difficulty. So more production with less time, more production, more efficient production, and more efficient utilization of resources. That all is possible if the sufficient farm power available is there. If we talk about the global level farm power availability, we are lagging behind various developed countries and even developing countries as well. So Brazil is already having 5 kilowatt per hectares of farm power available for their agriculture, where they also comes under the developing country category. The Japan, Korea, and USA, they have the farm power available in their agriculture of about more than 8 kilowatt per hectare. For example, USA, it is having more than 10 kilowatt per hectare. Korea and Japan, they have a 8 kilowatt per hectares of energy available for their farm agriculture productions. So here there is one slide which I put intentionally that it gives an idea about average command area. If you want to perform an agriculture, you are a beginner, you want to become an agriculture, and you are looking for a guidelines for in order to choose a power source, then here it is a kind of thumb rule where you need to have a one pair of draught animals in order to perform an agriculture activities at 2 hectares of land. So for every 2 hectares of land, at least one pair of draught animals are essentially required. Similarly, if you have a 5 hectares of land, for every 5 hectares of land, one power tiller is recommended, where that power tiller is having power rating of 7.5 kilowatt. If you are thinking to buy a tractor, so you need to buy a tractors for every 15 hectares of land, where the tractor's power rating is 26 kilowatt. So this is how you can buy a power sources in order to perform your agriculture operations. These are all some of the readings you may refer for more information what we discussed so far in this. If you want to have a deeper understanding and more further information, you may refer any one of these books. Thank you all.